Hello, folks. This is Joe from MIGeekScene. I'm at the Michigan Renaissance Festival with the Splatter Time Players.
Hi.
Lickity, Splickity, and Tuggy von Smeckle.
What's up?
How are you two doing today?
Wonderful. How are you?
I am not bad. For those who don't know about these two, they are part of the Mud Show. Gentlemen, what is the Mud Show?
The Mud Show is a hilarious 30-minute long show where my brother and I tell jokes and jump into the mud and splash people.
You sounded very natural saying that.
Thank you.
There's a half-an-hour comedy show performed in the mud for your viewing pleasure. That's what it is.
All
That
right.
was smoother than mine.
Yeah, I'm better than you.
Oh.
Ooh. Speaking of smooth, and this is not a smooth segue whatsoever, apparently you took over this show from your father because he met an unfortunate accident. So how did your
He
father
died
die? How did he die?
by doing our ultimate mud dive.
The Ultimate Mud Dive is the finale of our show where we jump from 12 stories tall into the mud.
Indeed.
Where there's glass and needles and sharks.
Well, that's a Michigan thing. Exclusively.
We don't even have mud sharks.
Mud sharks. Google it.
I've heard of mud sharks, but needles? Come on
Yeah,
now.
they'll get you.
It's dangerous doing the mud show here in Michigan. There's a lot of stuff in the mud.
People throw straight up knives in our mud pit here. We have to dig them out every morning.
Well, I mean, speaking of the Mud Show, I mean, have you guys ever had audience members flip out because they didn't understand what the show was all about? Because I've seen your show before, and you guys jump from real high, and mud splashes all over the place.
We've had audience members flip out, not necessarily because they didn't understand the show, but just because they were ready to flip out. That's where they were in
They
their
were gonna
lives.
flip out anyway.
Yeah, I think our favorite flip out was we were at the Bay Area Renaissance Festival in Florida, and there was an old trucker lady, is the best way to describe her, who,
Large Marge?
A lot lizard.
yeah, she was a lot lizard. She in the middle of the show, she stood up from her bench. She just stood up like this, which is always like an uh-oh moment. And then she went straight down the aisle, up onto the stage. She grabbed me and humped me, and then made an airplane noise and went, "Meow," and jumped into the mud.
I forgot
Are you
about
serious?
that.
Yes, that happened.
It did happen.
You know, I'm surprised. I'm surprised there's not that one person that's giving you a bad Yelp review, because you got to know there's that one person out there. Like, I didn't come here to get mud all over me, and I sat in the front row. I can't believe this.
We've gotten complaints.
Yeah.
But we bury them. Both the complaints and the people who complain.
Yeah, we've definitely gotten like dry cleaning bills sent to us.
Do we even have a Yelp review at all? Good or bad?
I don't know. Someone could make up something about you, can't they?
I do all the time. I go, Mud Show, 5 stars.
Yeah, but you yell it, you don't Yelp it.
I don't, yeah. Oh, I thought you said yell.
No, Yelp. It's a different
Mud
thing.
Show, 5 stars.
Have you had any Spinal Tap moments while performing?
Like, have we been tested for drugs in our spine?
Sure, we'll go with that.
Have we-
Meningitis, too, yeah.
Have we ever hurt our spinal cords on stage? I dislocated my shoulder once.
Taking off his shirt.
Yep.
Never mind, that is possible. I'm not going to even ask.
I fell.
Yeah, he's taking off his shirt. He got confused and dizzy and fell and dislocated his shoulder. But no spinal injuries as of yet.
But here's what happened, though. I fell, and normally when I fall, the audience, when they see me fall, they go, ha, 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 ha. But this time they went, oh.
Because his shoulder clearly came out of its socket.
Popped out, and my arm was like dangling like this.
Which they didn't think was funny, but I couldn't stop laughing.
And then we were trying to get them to applaud, so we threw our arms up, and my shoulder that was like this, I threw my arms up, and it popped back into place, and they went, oh, again.
Yeah, it was a good mud show.
I was going to ask, like, did you finish the show? But clearly you did.
He did. He finished the show. He's an animal. He's a trooper.
I did the ultimate mud dive with a dislocated shoulder because I don't feel pain. I do feel pain. It hurt a lot.
That's what morphine-laced mud will do to you.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
That's what's in the needles.
I actually have to read this next question because I wrote a lot. You two are clearly big fans of the 80s. Your promo videos, which you can find on Facebook and on YouTube, include American Psycho, which is set in the 80s. For you, Tuggy, For Whom the Bell Tolls, the 80s thrash metal by Metallica for the slow-mo promo video. And you seem to have the time of your life that you've never felt this way before during your show when you take a trip back to the 80s.
Yeah.
So, any favorite 80s flicks?
Well, we do Dirty Dancing in the show proper, which was we put that in the show because it was the all-time greatest
love story of our generation.
Yeah.
Really? Is it really now? Because I watched a little bit of that last night whilst doing research.
Preparation.
Preparation, H.
Right.
But whilst doing that research, it's really about statutory rape when you break it down.
Which is why I love it so much.
Oh, my goodness.
Hear me out. It is in our collective consciousness and our culture that it is one of the greatest love stories of all time. But when you go back and you look at it, you go, oh, my God, this is terrible. This is a guy who is clearly in his 30s with an underage girl who he nicknamed Baby.
I never thought about that before.
It's in our show.
It's in our show? Oh, man. I don't really pay attention.
Yeah.
Well, Tuggy plays the part of Baby.
Can I tell you why I thought we did that
Why?
in our show? Is because I thought when we first started the show, I used to be smaller and I had a giant beard, and you could pick me up.
Yeah.
And like that's why I thought you did that.
Just for the lift.
Just for the lift.
Right. The lift is amazing.
This is news for me.
But no, we do Sleeping Beauty because we want to point out to the audience the ridiculousness of kissing a girl while she's asleep, and that being a childhood story that we all, and things of that nature. It's just pointing out the darkness that's around us all.
Well, I mean, it's fair.
all
I mean,
these
looking back at
tales.
all these old stuff, you're like, wow, that's messed up. But just remember, no one backs Tuggy up in the corner.
No.
Nobody puts Tuggy in the corner.
Nobody puts Tuggy in the corner because I freak out. I'm on bath salts. I'll eat your face.
And even though it has nothing to do with the Michigan Renaissance Festival, speaking of the 80s, I enjoyed the Bay Area Breakfast Club video that you guys were in.
You
with
found that?
Yes, I found that.
Dang.
Hob the Troll, Harmless T. Jesterson, Gwendolyn the Idiot, and two people that somehow looked like Claire and Bender from the Breakfast Club.
Yes.
Who came up with that video?
Oh, Angela Bemmy is her name. She sells parasols, and she'd kill me if I didn't give her the credit for it.
That was a great video.
Because two dudes kiss in that video.
I forgot we did that.
I know, right?
There was two dudes kissing in the video?
Two
All I
dudes
saw
kissing.
was Claire and Bender.
Yeah.
I know. Yep. Yeah, it was a very hot, romantic
I
scene.
was Claire.
I was very proud of that video.
Well, what was your first exposure to? Oh, well, we're gonna go a little bit into the bit of the personal side of them, or behind the scenes stuff to an
Okay.
extent.
Okay.
So, what was your first exposure to the Ren Faire scene when you escaped from your father?
Well, I got discovered doing stand-up comedy in Phoenix, Arizona, and some of the other stage acts at the Renaissance Faire in Arizona saw me, and they were like, you should work at a Renaissance Faire. And I went to them. I was like, what the hell is a Renaissance Faire? And so I went over and over again that season, and I loved it. And I sold all my stuff and drove across the country and started doing Renaissance Fairs.
He didn't sell all the stuff. He brought a tent, his entire rock band kit.
Like a giant laptop. No, it was a giant
Desktop.
computer.
Yep, giant Mac desktop.
In a tent.
Yep.
With Rock Band?
With rock band.
The first time it rained, everything got ruined.
So, all right, I guess impromptu thing. I didn't know you played video games, Tuggy. What was your Rock Band song of choice?
Oh man, I liked all of them. No, my favorite
Was
one.
it Seether?
No, it was the ones where they had the drum solos at the end. Everything that had drum solos at the end, I would just get it.
Did you enjoy Slayer's Rain and Blood?
Yes.
I guess we're going back to the 80s then.
Yes.
But
There was no more hilarious decade than the 80s. I think that's really what it comes down to. If you're trying to find comedy, mine it out of the 80s because there is so much there. Everything was so funny.
What was your first exposure to the Ren Faire scene?
My parents did this when I was born. I was no other choice, man.
Yeah.
I tried to get out. I did other things. When you grow up here, you don't have so your resume's weird, right? So you lie about your experience. Oh, I was a fighter pilot, or whatever. And then you get your friends to be your, you write down your friend's name as your manager, and they call them, and they back up your story, and you get the job.
I've done that so many times for you.
Yep. Whatever, tugboats, strip club DJ, whatever it is, and then they quickly figure out that you don't know what you're doing, and then you're out of here, and you end up back at the Renaissance Festival. So it's just a vicious cycle for me at this point.
Just when you think you get away, it pulls you back in.
Yep.
I didn't know that. Is this all I'm gonna do for the rest of my life?
This is it. This is the last stop.
Okay.
Look at that mud. You're gonna do that till you die.
Okay. I knew that. That's what you said in my interview.
I did. I did.
Tuggy, you were in Vegetable Justice at one point. Tell me about your time with that.
I got tomatoes thrown at my Vegetable Justice. The people pay for tomatoes and they throw them at your face while you insult them. If you guys don't know what that is, I did that for 1 year and realized that I had more fun making fun of myself than I did other people. I was too nice. I was funny at it. I was funny, but I didn't have the, like, hey, you're fat. Hey, you're fat. I suck at that part of it.
All right.
So I liked it, though. It was
Who's
fun.
fat, Tuggy? Who's fat?
Huh?
Who's fat?
Normally, it's the guy that's getting tomatoes thrown at their face. Statistically, I think there's one skinny guy. But no, it wasn't for me. It wasn't my cup of tea. I respect it a lot, though. That is like a hard thing to do.
It's hard work.
Yeah, you have to stay on the entire time.
With improv comedy,
With
correct?
improv comedy, just keep going.
Yeah, we're not here to work hard.
yeah. I want 30-minute intervals, and then I'm good.
Yeah.
Tuggy,
Yeah.
you mentioned earlier that you were doing stand-up comedy, but you were influenced by somebody that you really admired. You're a friend, fan, and historian of this one comedian named Todd Hibbler. Since you know so much about him, how did he get involved in comedy, and who are his comedic influences?
Todd Hibbler's my friend and cousin. His influences are everything that came out of the Uprisings Brigade Theater and Second City and all those things. I really like all the guys that I do. I mean, my cousin does. I can't do this. My cousin, it's me. I'm Todd Hibbler.
Well, so much for the facade that I was trying to put up,
Yeah.
You forgot to mention ice cream sandwiches.
Ice cream sandwiches is a big inspiration for me.
Yeah, big influence.
Well, all right, Tuggy Todd, how did you get involved in comedy then?
I was in community college when I was 18 years old. I was 18 years old, and I hated it because I hate learning. Like, I was like, community college, you have to trick me to learn. That's what I figured out about my life. But so I was in community college, and I was in communications and theater, and I really liked theater. And this lady was like, you do communications and theater, but you suck at school. Why don't you do stand-up comedy? And what are you doing, rap? Are you rapping me up?
No, I'm just hanging out.
Oh,
Just hanging out.
cool. Was I getting long-winded?
Nah, it's okay.
And so I was like, stand-up comedy, I never thought about that. And so I tried stand-up comedy, and it was really hard because I was 18 years old, and most places that you try to do comedy at, you have to be over 21. So I got a fake ID, and I was 18 years old, working the clubs in Phoenix, Arizona, and people knew, everybody knew. But that's how I got into stand-up.
That's most excellent.
And brought me here.
Where you will die.
Where I will die.
Lickity, I guess. Should I refer to you as Lickity for this next question?
Sure.
All right. Well, Lickity, you have for some reason, you have an identical cousin who's very religious, and his name is Brother Perfidious of the Bastard Monk Show.
Does the Bastard Monk Show 3 times a day now here at the Michigan Renaissance Festival at the stage right across from the Mud Show stage.
But what is the Bastard Mud Show? I'm at Monk Show. Bastard Mud Show. That's, I guess, a new thing right there. Bastard Monk Show. What is it all about?
The Bastard Monk Show is two monks that travel the land telling stories from the Bible, and one's really good at it, and one's really not very good at it. One's a really bad monk. That'd be my brother. I'm not intimidated by you.
Your brother is...
My story was much faster.
I'm so bored.
My story was like 15 seconds. It's a good show. The Bastard Monk Show is a good show. My cousin, was it?
Your
my
identical cousin.
My identical twin cousin. He's very good at it.
Identical twin cousin.
That's what he is.
Okay, we'll go with that.
Things were weird in the 1600s.
That somehow went to the 80s.
Yes.
There's just aunts and uncles everywhere.
My goodness. All right, well, gentlemen, as we're wrapping this up, what does the Ren Faire community mean to you?
I mean, you said it, brother. Community.
The Ren Faire community, like the people.
Yes, the performers that you've traveled the roads down with, and the people that come out.
When I was a child at the Renaissance Festival, my absolute favorite thing was to go from stage to stage and watch the jugglers and the comedians and the tightrope walkers. It felt like magic. And I was one of those terrible kids that would sit in the front row and yell the punchline out before they could say it because I loved it so much. And I knew I wanted to do it when I grew up. And now I get to be a part of that. And there are so many children that come here and sit in the front row and yell my punchlines before I could say it. And I know it's because they love it, because they love what they're seeing. It's magic. So it's just great to do what I dreamed of doing when I was a kid.
Okay.
Right?
All right.
Does that sound good?
No, it sounds absolutely horrible. Yes, that's good.
I really like just being around all the time, just creative people that just all they want to do is just create and create and create. Like we're only open 2 days a week when we're working at Renaissance Faire, so that's 5 days of just creating. You know what I mean? So that's just what we do, and it's just really cool to be a part of people that just do things.
I mean, it takes 2 days to do laundry, right? There's
a
like
day of recovery, a day for preparation. So really, you get 3 days. You got to do your laundry. That's 1 day, and then you got to go grocery shop. That's another day. So really, we have like 1 day off.
I don't know how you people do it on Saturdays and Sundays. How do you people do it?
How do you work 5 days a week?
I don't get it.
I only work 3 days a week at my
There
real
you
job.
go. See? There you go.
And then this is a full-time job, pretty much 7 days a week. So
American dream.
America.
Yeah.
Well, all right. If people wanted to find out more about you two online, where could they go?
We have a terrible web presence at this point. Nobody in our collective group is good at web stuff.
I'm pretty good. You can like me on Facebook, the Tuggy von Smeckle Facebook site, and you'll get news updates when I feel like it. Also, my mom is an admin, and she overposts pictures. And I go on there as Todd Hibbler, and I go, "Stop, Mom, you're embarrassing me in front of my fans." Yeah. There's a lot of that.
You can like us at Splatter Time Players Facebook page. Like our page, and we'll do videos like 80s parody videos whenever we feel like it. It's just now and then.
Yeah, if you go check out the slow-mo promo video,
Slow-mo promo is on our Facebook page.
Yeah.
you might see someone twerking.
I'm surprised we didn't get flagged for that video. Because it's somebody else's song.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. That's why I'm not playing it right now. But
Are we allowed to do even that?
I think that's going to be edited out. No, I'll leave it in.
It'll be like cartoon noises.
Oh, no.
Cartoon noises.
Clown horns in the background.
Yeah, that's it. That's our entire web presence. Sometimes he's on the Build-A-Bear website or whatever.
Yeah, I'm on there more than I am on the Tuggy von Smeckle page.
Yeah.
I'm on the Build-A-Bear. I'm an admin on Build-A-Bear. The store in the mall.
You call yourself Admiral
Admiral
on
Build-A-Bear.
Admiral Build-A-Bear on the chat section.
There's a forum page for Build-A-Bear.
Yeah, man.
He's
Yeah, I'm
on
an
it.
admin.
He's on it.
Yeah, big fan of Build-A-Bear.
I
have a
don't doubt
collection.
that one bit.
I like them because they're light. You can travel around with hundreds.
Final question,
Yes.
gentlemen. What would you like to say to all your fans throughout the years?
It's been years now. It's hard to remember, but it's been like 9 years or so,
Wow,
which is a lot.
you're old.
I know. I would like to say the usual stuff you would say, which is thank you. I'm looking at you, right?
Yeah, well, either me or the camera.
Thank you for coming out and being like, hey, we love the Mud Show. And then putting money in our basket because then we spend the money on our bills and we keep doing the Mud Show. And that's dope. So.
And I would like to say to all my fans out there that I appreciate you and that I love you, and I'm going to keep bringing that ruckus. Year after year, I'm going to take the ruckus and I'm going to go, here you go, here's some more ruckus, and I'm going to give it to you because I love you.
I think that's it.
Prophetic words. Well, folks, this is Joe from MIGeekScene at the Michigan Renaissance Festival with the Splatter Time Players, Lickity, Splickity, and Tuggy von Smeckle. Take it easy.
Bye.